guys, Anna here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we're in the world of Inner Screen and in Everdue on that beautiful tree in the tree type lot. I love this particular lot. It had a starter home here that was beautiful. My favorite kind of like community built lot in this particular world. I think it was gorgeous, but I wanted to build here. So this particular build ends up being a 3x1 bedroom house. It doesn't look like it would fit 3 bedrooms, but it does. And I'm really proud of this particular home. It's interesting how Tuesday's build looked massive but was really small. This kind of looks small but is massive. I don't know. I had a little bit of a reference pic for this particular build off Pinterest. I combined a couple of inspiration pics for this particular build. So I really wanted that central chimney and I really wanted a curved porch. So we've done that. And I really love, in the end, the the chimney kind of sits where the kitchen is. And there's something about that I really, really love. We really lean into the mossy textures and assets in this particular pack. So we use that mossy roof texture. We use I think we do end up changing the frieze or and we just really keep the color scheme very simple. I love the kind of curved roof you'll see in a minute. Gone in with that birch wood tone. I just really love this pale color. I don't really use the middle tone wood tone. I just really use the pale one. And then I paired it with this beautiful green kind of scaled, like dragon scale type wallpaper as well. And that kind of builds and forms the color scheme of this particular house. I really love this roof here, how it kind of, the point sits under the eaves of the main part of the roof. It's just a beautiful build. At this point, I was sitting back and I was like, yep, this is my favorite build so far. This is the third build that I have built with the Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. The first build was also, it's all three of them are in Everdue. I did not plan that. I initially wanted to build a build in each of the neighborhoods. So I'm still very excited to go back and explore those two other neighborhoods, because I really do want to build something there. I'm definitely considering building something with like cottage living or realm of magic. Probably cottage living, because I feel like cottage living and this pack I could make more of a family home in Spruceberry Grove. And then in the coast of Admore, I really love the type of builds there. They're just, I really love the kind of, I don't even think they're pastel, but the color schemes of those houses are so stinking cute. Like I love the blues and the pinks and the yellows. They're kind of like, they're just base game, swatches of wallpapers, but they're lovely with the interesting roof shapes and things like that. So I definitely am intrigued to do that. So this is our last build for August. We then move into our September content. For September, we are building a whole range of builds that are based off of a storyline. So September, we're really focusing on storyline. So the builds are very different. You have, family homes of all different sizes. You have, but I'm so excited. Like some of my favorite builds I've ever done are coming in next month's content. So if that sounds exciting to you, if that sounds like something you would love to be around to watch, please consider subscribing and joining the family. And I post twice a week, speed builds twice a week. I do a couple of shorts as well, where I do some room decorating. That's just kind of something I do that's kind of, I don't know, it keeps me inspired to kind of base, especially like with kids' rooms. I really want to get better with my kids' rooms because I feel like my kids' rooms all look the same. So doing those room shorts really does help me get creatively in the mood for that. So yeah, But yeah, if this excites you, just come join us. Like we have a great time. All right, let's get back into this particular build. So what I've done is the exterior is mostly done. We are now inside, kind of looking at the floor plan. First thing I did is place my stairs. We do end up getting rid of that window, but we put a taller window. I love the floor plan of this. We actually fit a lot of things in this bottom floor. So you walk in, you have this kind of little central area. We then we managed to tuck in a small bathroom. So the only bathroom in this particular house is downstairs and it's tiny. You then have the kitchen, a dining table. This other area to the side is where I've just put that painting. That will be where the living room is, and the kitchen is just here. It's just this little tucked in section. It's very small, but you don't need a big kitchen. If I learned anything from playing with this pack, you don't need a big kitchen. You don't need a lot of stuff. So I was able to fit that in. And I really like the placement of this kitchen because it's where the chimney is. So it's kind of like, I probably should have put the stove where the sink is and the sink where the stove is, just because that would then make more sense in terms of, you know, the chimneys right there. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. This is the living room. I just put in a fireplace. I do use the other fireplace that matches the set that's kind of in the kitchen. I do chop and change the kind of two sets that we got with the pack. The outside is very mossy, but I do use more of the wooden set in the interior. I love this light. I do have to size it down though, because it's just massive and it's a bit awkwardly shaped. We use a lot of purple in this particular build. I wanted to lean into the colors that maybe I hadn't used a lot of. So we use purples, a lot of greens, reds, those type of colors. This is, yeah, such a beautiful little space. We then, towards the back wall, we put in the apothecary table. I believe we put in a desk as well. And then you have the stairs. There's no back door access, which is interesting, but I really didn't have the space for it. I could have, where that staircase is, I absolutely could have put in a back door, but I actually ended up moving the lot towards the back of the lot, moved the house towards the back of the lot so that I could basically have more room in the front, because this is only a 20 by 20 lot. It's tiny. So it's interesting how the lot size got smaller, but the house got bigger. Not sure how that worked. Really loved this purple dining chairs and tables. So then I changed the couch color, which changed the coffee table. So really leaned into that kind of purpley theme, which is also paired into the curtains. Really good swatch. It's got the blue, it's got the pink, it's got the purple, it's got greenery. Just matches. It's just so nice. We do clutter this house up with a lot more of the wisteria and ivy compared to Tuesday's build, where we don't really. Gone in with the purple backsplash detailing. Do I update the kitchen? I think that is the swatch. I think we do just use the default swatch, which is fine. Like, I like the blue. I think it's nice. Anyway, so here I am changing around where we're going to put the entrance into the bathroom. Very small bathroom, but at the end of the day, from playing with this pack, you don't need a massive bathroom. Like, it works. Yeah. So I haven't used... Oh, I used the actual corner tub in the first build that I did with this particular pack when it first came out. That build is available on the channel if you'd like to go back and watch it. It's beautiful. I love it. All right, floor plan for the upstairs. So I started with the landing, and then I had these two sections and a middle hallway, and I was like, they're a bit big, those two rooms, so let's add in a third. So I added in a third at the end of the hallway. In the end, we have a master bedroom. I think like essentially what would be like a newborn's room and then an infant's room, or is it a toddler? Could be a toddler. Now that I'm thinking about it, but they're the three rooms. Like, they're decent size. We didn't get a single bed with this particular pack, which is why I think I lean more towards doing yeah, like a newborn and like an infant or a toddler, because we just didn't get a single bed. If I would have loved to have done like a kid's room in this particular build, but didn't happen. All right, we are outside and we are finalizing the landscaping. I love these beautiful flowers that we got with the baubles. So we've got them in pink, purple, and blue. Also, then added in the trees. I didn't know what trees to add here in the front. It took me forever to finalize that. I decided to use a little bit of the stone fencing. Again, this stone fencing is not found in this particular area, but I just really liked it. I think it paired well with the type of house that I built. Kind of goes with the mossy stone foundation and chimney. Lots of flowers, obviously. I'm really confident with my landscaping, and I'm really proud to say that, because that is something that I've been working on. And as I mentioned in Tuesday's build, this pack really brought that out of me and encouraged me to lean into it and just go nuts and basically just start putting plants everywhere and everywhere and just start layering. I put these bushes out the back because no one's going to see this area anyway. And as you would have noticed, we put a ton of flowers on top of the roof of this particular build. I didn't struggle too bad with the bump out section, which is this green section here on the side. But the main roof was a struggle. We've got the wisteria type fence with that beautiful fencing that leads into like a front garden area. Every build that I build with this pack will always have a lot of gardening space. I just think it makes the most sense. And I put in a swing set because I had the space to. A little seating area, but there you've got your gardening thing. And then I decided to put a ton of wisteria outside. I just love this. It's just beautiful. This build just really, it's one of my favorites. It's my favorite definitely of the 3 of the homes that I built with the Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature game expansion. Why do I keep saying it's a game pack? Maybe that's just like my subconscious, opinion of the pack. Who knows? But yes, so this particular build is Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature only with base game. There are no other packs. Definitely want to go back and explore, more with other packs. But yeah, all right. So we just put in a couple of some, chairs out the front. I didn't really add much else. I've spoken about how much I love those candles. I've put in the mailbox that's super cute. And now we are upstairs finalizing the bedrooms. Gone in with a beautiful complementary curtain. It's different to the ones that are downstairs. I've sized down a dollhouse and put in a bookcase in the landing space. Didn't have much in this landing space, just put in a lot of clutter pieces and this beautiful rug that we got. And I am now starting in the master bedroom. This room was so awkwardly shaped because of where I had the doors. So I've put the bed up against the wall. The Sims can scoot across, like it's still usable from for both sides. You can still have 2 Sims there. And I've used the tall dresser and this tall mirror that I have not used in any other build. So I thought I will use this because I had this whole wall space. I was like, I might as well. Added in some wisteria and I'm putting in like a little side table and some plants and a candle in that space. All right, we are moving into, I believe this is we've got like a newborn crib. And I really loved the acorn print. So we've kind of leaned into the green theme, which kind of matches the wallpaper anyway, because there's a lot of green and stuff. And it's just all nature inspired. I really didn't add much in this space because it's a newborn. Like they really don't do anything. So this is basically all that's in this space. I put in a few toys and stuff and a chair. All right, we do go with a toddler in the end, which is exciting. I used the new toddler bed and I've put in the hanging rack as opposed to a chest of drawers. I think it's fine. It's just something to clutter the space. I've gone in with this shelving unit, which I really like this shelving unit with some books. No, I've gone in with a bookcase tree. But I do like that shelving unit. I definitely do. All right, we are just finally putting the touches on the outside, fixing all the terrain paint, and I believe we'll be going into the tour. I've tucked in a little fairy house at the back there, you might have seen, and yeah. All right, we are live in game and we are going through the build for the tour. And yeah, so we're going to start at the front. So you've got that little gardening section, you've got your swing set, you've got the fairy house that's tucked in the corner. You enter in, you have this beautiful little entry area that has the door to the bathroom. You then have your dining table, your kitchen, your living space, which is quite nice in there. You've got your apothecary table with your desk. You go upstairs, you've got your landing, which then leads you into the master bedroom. Beautiful in there. Love the golden tones. Into the newborns room and the infants room. Really pink and colourful. Lots of those raspberry tones, which I really love. And that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you liked what you saw, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. It does help me out. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.